Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today I am going to discuss something really important. Bagram Airbase, when the United States vacated that, was that a strategic withdrawal or a monumental mistake? You, the viewer, can decide. But before we jump in and bring our expert in to talk about this, I want to show you a 30-second video of the Bagram Airbase and what happened in July 2021. As you can see from that video, the Afghan did not know that the United States had left the country and abandoned Bagram Air Base. Only when reports of looting of the airfield came did the Afghans know that, oops, the US have left without giving us the keys. But regrettably, why was this utter lack of communications? And who is responsible for this? Shouldn't that person be taken to task? Why is that not happening? To find the answers to all these questions, let us invite our guest of the day, Sridhar Chityala ji, who has done a fair amount of research on this, and the findings are very revealing. Sridhar ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskar, good day to everybody, and happy to be here to discuss this very important and strategic topic. We have covered this in our DGI programs, and including the day when this base was vacated, and lo and behold, as Sriji pointed out, the station commander discovered to his dismay that there was nobody there, and they were the people to switch off the lights. And what happened after that is a mayhem. And as Sri has put the context, which is namely to say, there are many questions that remain unanswered, but it is, in my humble view, a monumental blunder rather than anything else.
So, Sridhar ji, let's build on what you just said. You said that it's a monumental blunder. And I can understand the frustration that Bagram appears to be a city within a city kind of thing. It's a very fully functioning airfield and the environment. In fact, they even had things like Kentucky Fried Chicken, I believe, and a McDonald's, I believe. So that is the kind of traffic that was there. At least 5,000 people were there at any given time. And yet, the United States, in its infinite wisdom, decided to just abdicate and run away from there. And a lot of aircraft, and see, people are putting some numbers of how much was left behind. They said that it's all been disabled. We don't know, but some people were shown flying helicopters. Sridhar ji, for our viewers' sake, let me first show the position or the location of Bagram with respect to all the other countries in that area. Perhaps you can begin by telling our viewers the strategic importance of the Bagram airfield. Here you go, sir.
Right.
Sir, take it away. Yeah.
Thank you. So, you can see in the map, the epicenter of the Bagram airfield. Bagram airfield, the Afghans had given complete control to the United States. It's like a fully functional, self-contained city with equipment, with planes, with the helicopters, and all kinds of gadgetry, which is required to monitor and manage. What is it that they were monitoring and managing? Two things. One is it was also a protective umbrella for the Central Asian countries. Look right up north. You have Kyrgyzstan, you have Tajikistan, not too far to the left would be the Uzbekistan. But most important element here is the Chinese province. It was only less than an hour away from the areas which are of strategic importance. And by the way, this is the place from which there was much of the intelligence that the United States even provided to Indian armed forces when the Galwan Ladakh Valley attack was looking fairly imminent and took place. So this is a strategic location, self-contained, completely under the control of the US command and the US Air Forces. And the Afghans were willing to give this away, as recognizing that it acts as a strategic kind of a buffer for protection and the mitigation of any threats from any other nation as far as the Afghanistan is concerned. It was also the location of it gave an importance to the US forces in the event. If you look at Mazar-e-Sharif and you look at Kandahar in the map, you will find that US had a great oversight to mitigate any potential threats that could come from the the remnant Taliban forces, which were very much present in those specific regions. So, lo and behold, when you look at this context, it begs the question:
who, in your opinion, Sridharji, would be responsible to kind of say that this is how we shall exit, even though the terms of exit were well defined during the Trump administration itself? Looks like they did the exact opposite of what was planned by Trump administration as to how to leave Afghanistan. Now, it takes importance because now President Trump is now beginning to bring up this topic, and I guess it will be in the front and center for the next couple of days at least. So we, in fact, are kind of giving you an exclusive scoop before the thing happens, so you kind of get a heads up. Sridharji, who's responsible?
Yeah. So, Sriji, let me just add one other point before we transition. In 2016, at the fag end of the Obama administration, they had completed this airfield in the Bagram new airfield, which is about, I think, 12,000 feet long, so capable of any type of takeoff and landing at a cost of somewhere between $68 million to $80 million. So therefore, during the Obama's regime, this was completed, and then it was handed over to transition to Mr. Trump, and Mr. Trump continued to consolidate and retain the position. He has consistently maintained the strategic importance of this, and he said any withdrawal from Afghanistan will not include the withdrawal of Bagram Airbase. Now, to come to your strategic question, okay, one can only infer based on circumstantial data, but circumstantial data which is compelling. If you recall, again, we had covered this in the Daily Global Insights, right around the cusp of Trump's last days of the presidency. There was apparently a call made between the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Mark Milley to his counterpart, which is to say that there would be no imminent attack without prior warning, or no nuclear attack will be carried out on China prior to, and there will be a prior warning, but he will not act on it. This was seized upon by the media and naturally the right wing, but not the left wing. So you had this incident, and there was a lot of questions around whether such a call was made, not made. Eventually, Mark Milley conceded that he didn't make call within his protocol and he was not violating any sovereign rights. We again covered this in Daily Global Insights. Okay. Lo and behold, now switch the clock back forward, or you come to June 2021. You saw the video of July 2021. Now switch to June 2021. June 2021, General Mark Milley, in his briefing to the House and his briefing to the House and Senate, the armed committees, stated very clearly that Bagram Airbase, neither tactically nor operationally, is of any relevance to US Air Forces. Exactly after somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks, you saw the exit from the Bagram Airbase and the unmitigated disaster that happened in the month of August.
So the questions that the Biden administration has to answer: was it based on the advice of General Milley that they did what they did? 2, if that is not the case, then what else was the reason why the Biden administration decided to abdicate Afghanistan? Number 3, was there a group in the Biden administration which was favoring this all along? A lot of questions, you might say, but 3 questions people can remember. Let's see if the Biden administration will answer these questions. And most important thing, someone needs to be fixed responsibility for this. And this is something that everyone will look forward to. Sridhar ji, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on this. This is going to be a front burner issue, in my opinion, sir. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but once Trump starts raking this up, I can tell you that whether CNN or the left ecosystem likes it or not, this shall occupy the front burner. That's how I think. Your thoughts, sir, before we conclude.
No, I think there's one important data point that Trump is going to blast his way whenever he speaks. Yumen and Hami, which is not too far, one of them is in the Zhejiang province, is the home to the intercontinental ballistic missiles and nuclear capabilities that China is building. It is alleged, or it is reported, that the nuclear capabilities that the China is building is of significant worrying factor, greater than even Russia. When you put this in context, and when you pose this question, who is behind this monumental disaster, when you had every opportunity to be in control of your destiny, it only is going to exacerbate the problem further. Especially, you left with a whole bunch of American gear, which is now in the hands of the Chinese. Forget the Bagram Airbase. You also left with all the state-of-the-art equipment which the Chinese have access to, and you already saw videos of some of these Taliban fighters flying those helicopters and the planes. So I think, sir, this is going to be, as you rightly say, front center. There are too many questions and too many strategic questions, especially in the context of the adversarial tactics that China and Russia are now taking in the present geopolitical context.
Thank you very much, Sridhar ji. Namaskar. And as always, like, share, and subscribe to our channel and click on the bell button. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaskar. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Sriji, for this opportunity to talk about this topic.